All right, we got the Rooted Basketball Talk Story. I'm Coach Serge, Rooted Youth Basketball, and today we got Coach JJ from Bradshaw Christian High School, head varsity coach, and guest elite coach for our upcoming Rooted Youth Basketball Elite Foundations basketball camp. Super stoked to have him here. We're gonna be diving in. We'll be learning more about him as a person, learning about his basketball journey, learning about how he's helping the youth connect with themselves, but also within the game of basketball. And we'll be talking about the camp coming up December 14th, dude. And here we go. Hey, what's up, Pablo? Jump on. Here we go. Sesh, and it's gonna be a good one, guys. All right. So it's gonna take a little time for IG to connect real quick, but we will. Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, brother? How we doing?
Hey, good, dude. Yeah, super stoked to have you on. Talk to you. I feel like I know you, but we haven't met in real life, even though we live in the pretty much same area.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, dude. Thank you again for jumping on for this live, but also for being our guest coach for the upcoming camp, dude. Hey, what's up, bro? So this live is gonna be super organic. Just getting to know you, yourself, and also you're gonna get to know me. But basically just sharing yourself, your basketball journey, how you're helping the youth within the world of basketball on and off the court, and then we'll talk about the camp, dude. But I want to give you the floor. Basically, who you are, where you're from, and what you're doing in the basketball world right now.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you having me on here, man. I'm excited. I love just being in the world of basketball. So, again, just appreciate you. Appreciate what you do as well for the youth, man. I love it. Love seeing it. So just a little bit about myself. Coach JJ Mina. I grew up out here from Sacramento, Elk Grove area. I actually was a student at Bradshaw Christian. So back in my own stomping grounds there, helping out. Went to Bradshaw Christian, played there my high school career, and then had the opportunity to go play at CRC, which is a junior college out here in Sacramento. And then from there, earned a scholarship to Colorado State University Pueblo. Was there for 1 year and ended up transferring and then finished up my career at Sonoma State, my college career. After that, was blessed with the opportunity to play professionally overseas, played in Italy, and then finished up my career overall in the U.S. So, man. So the game of basketball has just been very, very near and dear to my heart. It's a lot of who I am. I played it for I think 26 years. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, a big part of my life. I'm only 33, so a big chunk of my life has been dedicated to the game of basketball. Now just a little bit of coaching, I guess, a little bit of my coaching background. Throughout playing, I've always had a heart for mentoring. I love to mentor and give back to the youth and encourage and inspire. So that's who I've always been. That's where my heart is. So basketball is an amazing vehicle that has allowed me to do what I love, and that's the mentorship part. So for me, just being able to be involved in the youth life, it is just so important for me. And, was able to start my own skill and development company named Beyond Basketball. And the name says a lot about who I am. The game is, it's much bigger than the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So for me is yes, I love to see the development and the skill growth in the game of basketball, but to see them become better human beings and better people is even that much better. So, that's a quick rundown, high level of myself. But I run my own skill and development company, like I said, Beyond Basketball, and I'm the head coach now back at Bradshaw Christian. So, been around in different capacities at Bradshaw. I've been 8th grade head coach, JV head coach. I was even varsity head coach for a moment. So it's just coming back full circle and back to where it all began.
Nice, dude. No, that's solid. And I like your the name Beyond Basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because like for me, like basketball, it helped with just a lot of stuff as far as not only like mentally, but physically and like just socially. Like I made all my friends at the basketball court, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
from young kid times to when I went to college, like I was like, all right, I knew people because I went to University of Hawaii.
Okay.
So I knew people, but then it was like, okay, where's open gym?
Yeah.
So then went to open gym, and then I made. I'm still in contact with all my college buddies, and I'm a little older. I'm 40, but yeah, this is back in 2003 to 08, and I'm still in contact with all the dudes from my intramural teams and stuff. And yeah, even moving to uh, California because I'm from Hawaii originally. Like I met people in the Bay Area when I moved there through
Okay.
hoops, and then now here in Sacramento, Elk Grove. I just now that Elijah's into basketball, my son,
Yeah.
meeting all the great people in the community as far as the parents, coaches, and all the good stuff. And now it actually got me to hoop more. You know what I'm saying? To actually get back in the court. So I've been playing basketball more the past couple years too. So it's yeah, it's sparked a fire in me as far as not only on the court, but also like you said, like using basketball as a vehicle to teach kids growth and resilience so that they can take it off the court, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I always like to stay with the rooted um, branding, I guess you'd say. But yeah, the rooted youth basketball, like, yeah, stay rooted within, being a respectful warrior. That's what I always say. Is like when you're between the lines, dude, it's like, hey, let this go to war, but be respectful with, yourself, your teammates, the refs, basically everyone who made it happen. Like,
Yeah.
show respect, but like, hey, we're in a battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, be a
100%.
warrior. So,
Yeah.
and then off the court also, there's gonna be challenges and stuff. So, like using what you've learned and experienced on the court and bring it to your real life, dude. So, but yeah, that's one. And I've seen, a lot of cross, uh, you know, athletes you train, with like Avery, Nolan,
Yeah.
and Beckham, all them and stuff,
Oh
all
yeah.
Christian. So it's like, okay, like this guy's solid for sure because you are who you surround yourself with, right?
100%.
So yeah, even though I didn't meet you in real life, I already knew. I was like, all right, let me invite this dude to be a guest coach to our camp. So, but
I
yeah, I guess
appreciate that.
diving into your own story, dude. Like, how did you get into basketball and all the good stuff from like young kid times, or was it later in life? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, good question. I've been an athletic kid, so my parents put me in soccer when I was 4 years old. So my love for sports kind of started when I was there, but I was a multi-sport athlete all the way up in high school. So I played soccer and baseball were actually my main sports growing up. Basketball was always just something I did for fun. I was a kid that had a natural shot. It was a real funky shot, two hands, open wide, kind of like that. But for some reason, it just go in. But it was never like, I always thought I was growing up, I was going to play baseball or even soccer for a while. Um, but then as I grew up, I was a super late bloomer. So I'm 6'7" now, but when I was in high school, my sophomore year, I was 5'8". I was a little shorter, a little chunkier kid, So
Yeah.
I was 5'8", and then I had one summer just like the growth spurt hit, and I went from 5'8" to 6'4".
Dang.
So yeah, exactly. So my high school coach was happy to see me after that summer. So yeah, and then that was my junior year, and that was when I really started taking basketball serious. I was like, man, let's give it a try. And because of the sports that I played, um, soccer, I give a lot of credit to soccer for my footwork because then when I grew, my footwork stayed with me. So I was a big guy with light footwork. I got quick feet for my size, so it really helped. And so after that, yeah, it was just tunnel vision. I fell in love with the game. It was actually God. I'm a very spiritual person. I give all the glory and honor to God because without Him, I wouldn't be here. So during that time of my life, it was very something. It was when I gave my life to the Lord, and so from there, I was able to just get more of a clear vision of what I really wanted to do. And I knew God had me in the game of basketball. When you're younger, you think is for to make the NBA, but
Yeah.
that wasn't that wasn't in my plan. But I had an amazing career that I'm very proud of, and Yeah, sorry, got a little off track there, but
No, you're good. Yeah, no, yeah.
yeah, no,
We're going to story. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, no, I'm
yep.
just it gets me excited. That's why I get all over the place because I'm just so excited to be here, and this is my career now, so it's just a blessing. But yeah, after that, I just got really focused in the game of basketball. That year, that my junior year of high school, when I came back 6'4", that was a really coming to light year for me. We ended up winning a section championship at Bradshaw back in the day when it was Arco Arena. So I'm aging myself a little bit, but yeah, and that for me, it was just a moment of like, oh, this is what I want to do. So I locked in after that. My senior year, gave up football, soccer, all that, and became a single sport athlete, and just locked in and had the grind, man. I went to junior college, and that is a dog eat dog world, man.
Yeah.
People don't understand how tough the JC system is. So, you show up on, you're getting recruited, and you think the coach is all on you and everything like that. You show up to tryouts, it's 40 kids in there, and they all can
Oh
hoop
shit. Yeah.
somewhat. Yeah. So, I remember I tell my kids this all the time. My first 2 days of JC tryouts, we didn't even touch a ball. It was all
Yeah.
conditioning. It was all, we did 3-man weave without even a ball, just to see our movement. So, through those times, just tried and tested, and I realized I loved the game and was just able to lock in and, earn a couple scholarships, went the Division II route, and yeah, just through the grind, was able to earn myself a scholarship or a contract overseas, and got to go over waters. Like I said, I played in Italy, so it was just, yeah, man. So, sum it all up, man, God has really just taken control of this, and it's been nothing that I've even planned for, but man, when God has a plan, it's gonna happen. So
Yeah, God's plan, dude. That's sick. Yeah, as far
yeah,
as yeah, that's a story like a lot of uh like professional athletes, NBA, basketball. Like they start off soccer and they attribute soccer to like, hey, like soccer really up. Like Steve Nash is like my point guard, dude. So he
there you go.
grew up, he grew up playing soccer and like
Yep.
hockey and stuff in Canada and
Hmm.
everything. Or, yeah, so it's like yeah, just like him. Uh, like talking about all that stuff, it's crazy. Like especially with for me myself, I actually I'm a self-taught hooper. I say I just
There
play
you
the
go.
park. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. Like I didn't even know organized sports existed until I made the team, which is pretty weird. Yeah, yeah. So like I would just play like hoops at I would go play hoops, go surf, and go
Okay.
hoop again, go surf. You know
There
what I'm
you go.
saying? But yeah, as far as jumping on and um, organized sports and being a multi-sport athlete and stuff. Because I study a lot of like just online coaching stuff, and I see stuff on Instagram or YouTube or even just like in general about a lot of athletes or coaches saying, "Hey, be a multi-sport athlete." As far as I guess we can go into some Q&A type stuff
Yeah.
from your experience from being a multi-sport athlete and then also just coaching youth athletes in general. I know there's always multiple ways to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
But do you see, I guess we can talk about some benefits you see from being multi-sport and then benefits you see from being, all right, let's just stick to hoops.
Yeah.
I guess we can start with the multi-sport part. Like, what do you see that is pretty beneficial for kids?
Yeah. I think it's so important for younger kids to do that, to explore different sports and experience different sports, because there's so many different mechanics for each sport that could help you with whatever you end up with. I believe that there's so much value in that, but more so like each sport, it's its own culture, right?
Yeah.
So I think of life skills, right? Being able to relate and communicate with different people from different backgrounds, from different cultures, from different beliefs, um, is such an important skill to have. We see it in nowadays where a lot of, even disagreements or anger with one another, it comes from just not, I think, a lack of understanding.
Hmm.
So playing multiple sports, being with different cultures, different backgrounds, different people, it just helps your overall, I think, life skills. Right? The ball stops bouncing for everybody someday. So what are you after that? And I think the youth sports and being able to be multi-sport athlete just helps with that a lot. I know it's helped in my life. Before, for a moment, I've been in sales. My job, when I was trying to do like corporate world and stuff, it's been sales. So I was able to lead a team of 45 in my last job, and I realized how important those life skills were for me, because when you have 45 different people that you have to be in charge of, and we all have the same goal that has to be achieved, well, I can't talk to this person the same way that I talk to this person and expect the same results, right? You got to meet them where they're at sometimes and challenge them where they're at. And you probably realize it in sports. Like some kids you can just yell at and they'll be receptive and be like, yeah, my coach cares. And there's some where if you want to get that result, you gotta approach them a little differently. So on that subject of multi-sport, I think it's so super essential and useful the younger they are. Now, I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I said that you have to play, multiple sports, because I ended up not. When I found out what I was really, good at and what I really wanted to pursue, that was when I locked in. And like I said, I wasn't playing any other sports, but I did feel like that was a good time in my life. I wasn't in fifth grade not playing any other sports because I got dreams of going to the NBA at fifth grade, which is awesome. Like I'm not trying to crush anybody's dream, right? Yeah. But if that's the only reason why you're not pursuing something, trying another sport in your youth, I don't know. I mean, I'm a parent, so I'll never tell another parent like that's a wrong decision. But I'm gonna have my kids play multiple sports when they're growing up, just to give them that. So, I think it has to be a healthy balance. I think it has to be a healthy balance of, try the sport, and if also not forcing a kid, right? Like if you don't like the sport and you're out there picking the flowers, okay, well, let's try something else. Like, so we can, try it for a year. You're not going to quit, but then, we'll try something else next year or next season, something like that. So I just think it's important for that. I think it's important to, just have those life experiences with different cultures and backgrounds.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what happened with Elijah too. Like we had him since young kid. We had him try different sports and stuff. And then I think when he was like 8, like 2-3 years ago, he started to gravitate a little more towards basketball.
Okay.
And then it wasn't until end of last year and early this year, like he started to be like really into it. Like, oh, dude, like I wanna actually practice. I wanna actually like get better at the game of basketball. And then I remember last year, as I saw him like coming towards the basketball light, I guess I was all like, "Hey, dude, are you going towards basketball because Daddy loves basketball, or do you like it?" You know what I'm saying? I always want to try to emphasize that, like, "Hey, dude, do you like it, or are you doing it just because Daddy loves basketball?" He was like, "Oh no, like I like it." So
I think
even now, like, oh, go for it.
No, sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Even now, like he goes to, he does like animations and stuff, or like he makes comic books. So he's like making NBA NBA comic books, and like he's drawing. He's like on YouTube watching like NBA history type stuff, dude, like 60s, 70s basketball. I'm all like, okay, this dude actually fucking loves hoops.
Big difference. So I agree. I think I speak on how I was raised, right? So everyone's circumstances is different. Everyone, comes from, like I said, different backgrounds, different beliefs. So for me, my parents were non-athletic parents. Like my dad is a musician. I'm in his room right now because I have my kids over here. They're watching my kids, but like my dad has just guitars. Like he's a musician, man. Like he's not really a sports guy. So, and neither is my mom. So, but they just supported me. They were great parents. They saw the joy that sports brought me. Of course, my dad. If I brought him in here, he'd be like, "Man, I wish he was a musician," right? But they saw that, and I give them so much credit for that because they didn't force me. So I was put in a position where I could organically and just find my own path to the love of basketball. And I think that's my biggest thing is letting the love that these kids have, let it come out organically. Let them, right? Your son is like, he's approaching you. I want to practice. Versus, I don't want to practice. Well, too bad you're going to practice, Yeah. And again, there's a balance in there as well. But I know, I think that's just important to have, especially if you have people don't understand, like, the skill is one part, right?
Yeah.
The skill, we have a thing, we say hard work is the standard, but like when you get to the next level, skill is the standard. Everybody has skill there, right?
Yeah.
But what do you do to separate yourself? And that's where the mentality part comes from it.
Yeah.
You have to be mentally tough to play at the next level. Not mentally tough like, oh, I missed a shot and I got to get back on defense. It's mentally tough to grind. I didn't have a social life. I
Yeah.
didn't go to parties and was doing and all that stuff and had a normal college life. Like, I sacrificed that,
Yeah.
and it was worth it. But there's a mental toughness that comes with that, where if you're not mentally tough, you're going to fold when you get to that level. So
Yeah.
I think it's just so important that if you do have dreams and aspirations of playing at the next level, succeed even in high school, and we talk about it too, is making sure that you are working on your mental. Making sure that I just talked to my kids about this yesterday or 2 days ago, is when you look in the mirror, you should be happy with the person that's looking back at you.
Yeah.
You should be proud of that person that's looking back at you. So, yeah, long-winded answer, but I'm very passionate about that. Just, letting the game, letting the love, or letting you find the true love of the game organically,
Yeah. 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 I also saw something on online. This sports psychologist, he was saying it's not necessarily about discipline, but it's about the passion and the joy. That's what's gonna like legit get you through the
Yeah.
hard times. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you gotta show up and work, but it's like, yeah, like that mental part of like, oh, okay, like why am I doing this? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, especially
Yeah.
when you're, you know, say conditioning drills or stamina, like you're just dying. Like, why am I here? It's like, oh
Yeah.
shoot, and then you get on the court, you just free flow, and dude's like, oh, okay, like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
why. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then as far as going into the next question, as far as like, okay, like I have a kid who just fucking he loves to hoop, dude. He's like, fourth, fifth grade, sixth grade, like just he just wants to dribble the ball all day. Like, what benefits do you see with a child or youth athlete just going the basketball route?
Yeah, I mean, there's also those situations too where a kid just genuinely loves basketball, and I got a couple of those guys, and I love working with them. Where I think, I think with that, it's largely on the parents, right? Making
Yeah,
sure there's a balance, a healthy balance there. I'm all for it. If your son is just, and especially in this day, it's important to speak, right? Like in my generation, it's weird saying that, but
yeah,
back in the day, um, it was the norm. Everyone played multiple sports. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I didn't even have individual trainings. Like what I'm doing right now
yeah,
I mean, you'd have to know somebody who knows somebody, right, to get in,
yeah,
like with that kind of stuff. So I didn't really have that growing up. So it's a different generation we're living in too. So you have to take that into account.
yeah,
So I just think that comes with the balance then at that point, right? Where, um, you know, I don't think a kid, 7, 8 years old should be working out 3 times a day. Like, I don't think we should have that type of commitment for that type
yeah.
of kid. I mean, for any sport, to be honest, like let a kid be a kid, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that's my belief. But again, if I don't know, I have a son, I have an 11-month-old son, so I'm like trying to put it in perspective. My son is just like, Dad, I gotta get outside and play, and I'm like, who am I to tell you no,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it just has to be a healthy balance where um, you know, instead of that, third practice, like, hey, let's go to Top Golf and hit some balls or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
go
yeah,
do
yeah.
something productive, but just something different. So, yeah, I think it's just a balancing act. I don't think there's a yes or no, hard yes or no. I just think it's
Yeah.
a balancing act, and situation by situation. Like we know Avery, like
Yeah, yeah,
Avery is an absolute dog, and he
yeah.
only plays basketball, but his dad is an amazing dad, and
Yep.
he balances his life really well. So it's like, why would I ever say, you know what I mean? Why would I say,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yep,
wrong,
yep.
right? I think it's awesome, and I think he does a great job of allowing Avery to have that passion organically. And man,
Yep.
that dude Avery is outside his house every day.
Yep.
Like you ain't got to tell him, you ain't got to beg him. So he's just, some kids just got it. So
Nice. No, yeah, that's awesome. I remember, so whenever I have new kids I work with, there's always, I ask, have them introduce their name, age, and favorite player. And Avery said Iverson. I'm all like, all right,
Right?
This is a kid raider, bro. Yeah, because
Come
like,
on, right?
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I grew up in the early 2000s watching basketball, playing basketball. So Iverson, Nash, and Kidd, those are my top three. You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go. There
But
you go.
yeah, dude, it's yeah, because even for me, like we go to pick up USA for Elijah's youth basketball. He's only in one league right now,
Okay.
but I always said like
What's up, Kenny?
once he like reached like 9, when I saw like he was on that trajectory of like he wants to hoop, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let me just be have him still train and have him learn and get better. But then I'll wait till about sixth, 7th grade, and then I'm gonna ask him like, hey, dude, like, what path do you want to take? You know what I'm saying? Like, because in my mind, there's three paths. They're like, okay, we can just hoop and you can just enjoy the game and just free flow. And
Yeah.
then there's we can play like rec ball, you know what I'm saying? Like rec leagues, youth development leagues and
Yeah.
stuff. Or we can go like, elite fucking competition camps and all this shit. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting till this coming up summer to ask him, but like, or we can just take a break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So like, I'm kind of waiting on his answer as far as like, okay, like, which path do you want to take? Because I was going down the path of like, hey, bro, Mamba mentality, dude. Let's fucking wake
Yeah.
up in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
let's, let's
Yeah.
get to it. But then I knew like him himself, like he wasn't there yet as far as like that eat basically eat poop
Yeah.
sleep basketball. You know what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
I'm all like I'm glad I listened to my intuition because yeah, if I went that route, be like, hey dude, get up,
Yeah.
we're gonna go in the garage, do some drills 6 o'clock in the morning before school. I know for sure like right now Hugh probably would stop hooping, dude. You
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But like with that, there's a balance on the other side too, right? Where it's like I just can't have my son or daughter just being at home being a bum, right? Like
Yep, yep,
I
yep,
gotta push you. You
yep.
gotta. That's why I talk about when my wife is like, okay, I know I would love for them to follow in daddy's footsteps and be ballers. Great. If that happens, that's awesome. But not, we got to have them do something. I don't care if it's
Yep,
theater. I don't, you got to do something, right? So
yep, yep,
as
yep,
long
yep.
as we're just not at home, doing this and all that. So for me anyway, so I think, like I said, it's just a big balancing act, right? It's like, okay, you don't want to play. Do you don't want to play because you're lazy, or you don't want to play because you're
Yeah.
truly not enjoying it? And that's where the balancing act has to happen. Where it's like, okay, well, if you're just lazy, well, you're gonna go play, and you know what I
No,
mean?
yeah,
We're gonna,
exactly, dude.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
So
so it's yeah, that's why like for me, I think I'm also preparing myself for that conversation. Be like, all right, dude, you verbally committed, and you said you want to go to say if he wants to go to, college to play
appreciate you,
ball or
Metri.
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh, yep. Hey, let's go, BC. Hey, let's go.
yeah, Mr. Metri. I know I didn't even see all the chat. It popped up. Oh, I see
Yep.
Jedi too. I don't know if they're still here. What's up,
Oh
Jonathan?
yeah.
Oh,
Woo.
Ryan, my guy. Sheesh. There we go. Sorry about that.
No. We're good, dude. Yeah, freaking. Yeah, I got paired up with Beckham when I was coaching with Encore basketball league, and
That's
then yeah,
cool.
I met them, and yeah, super solid family, dude. They're
Oh yeah,
freaking, they're
dude,
awesome, dude.
Metri's my guy, man. He's the middle school head coach, and then
Yep,
he's helping me out, assisting with the guys. So yeah, he's a blessing to have. Big shout out to
nice.
my guy Metri.
Yeah, no, it's funny because like we had a Beckham over for Elijah's 11th birthday. We went to pick up USA. We
Okay.
rented his stuff. Yeah, so like me and Maestri, we kind of talked the same as far as like
Yeah.
like kind of like not only basketball but like talking about our kids, like kind of like
Yeah.
roasting them and stuff.
Give
But
them thick skin.
yeah, no, yeah, for real, dude. And yeah, that's the one thing too. Like for me, I'm first time sports parent, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also navigating and learning
Yeah.
how to talk to my kid as far as like still pushing him, but not like um to the extreme where he gets I guess disencouraged, but
Yeah.
also tough skin where it's like, hey, bro, like there's gonna be kids that's gonna be talking smack, dude. So you gotta
Yeah.
fight through that mental too. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. For
So,
sure.
yep,
Balancing act, man. Yeah. Yeah.
yep. But yeah, dude, as far as going into just the youth coaching side of it, even for me, I was talking to my homie Nate. He also grew up playing basketball and stuff, and I was all like, hey, dude, do you think the self-taught hooper is like extinct? You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, nowadays it's a new landscape. And then,
Yeah.
of course, me, I'm just learning and diving into it with Elijah. as he grows. Like, but seeing like skills trainers, like the AAU scene, and like just especially in like Elk Grove, Sacramento, like there's a lot of great basketball options. So it's like I guess that's a good question too for you as far as your experience. Like, a parent has a kid who's getting into basketball, but there's so many options, dude. Like, do I take skills trainers? Do I go to this rec league? Do I go to AAU? Like, I guess I know it all depends on the kid too, but
Yeah.
in general, like, what would you say to a parent whose child is just getting to basketball and they want to nourish their kid along their path?
Yeah, good question. I think the most important thing if you're just getting into basketball is find someone or some league or a coach, which I'll get into that in a little bit. But I think it's fun. The biggest thing is fundamentals. Find someone who knows how to teach the fundamentals. Not only knows how to teach them, but know how you can implement them at that age. I think the implementation part is something that is missed out a lot in training of all levels, and I think that comes from. I think it's hard. It's hard to say. I think it comes from, in some sense, lack of knowledge of the game of basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not saying that you have to play basketball or had played basketball to be a coach, because some of my greatest coaches didn't even play college or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down that path at all. But I think there has to be a willingness to be a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding the fundamentals. So as a new parent, like even me, as I would find someone that can teach the fundamentals, but also is a good role model and mentor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're at a young age. So if you learn at a young age that your success only is based off of if that ball goes in the hoop or not, right? You're developing those habits where
Yeah.
now you're beating yourself up when the shot goes in, everything's great. When the shot doesn't go in, now I'm down, I'm missing my assignments on defense, I'm not getting back, right? All those things. So I think it's so important, especially when they're getting in, that you find someone that knows the game of basketball, but also knows how to be a mentor, and encourage them to be, that mental toughness from a young age. So,
Nice.
yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's actually how I got into volunteer coaching. Because I know, like, it's all, parents just volunteer coaching their time and stuff. And I remember one of Elijah's first coaches. Uh, I think he just watched basketball, but he did just NBA and stuff, but he
Yeah.
didn't really like understand the actual like game concepts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember one practice he was telling the kids it was corner shots, like use the backboard. And then I was all like, that's interesting. And then like I guess like the way like he was like, oh, if you want the ball, say give me the ball. And then I was like, no, you just say ball, hand me the ball. Yeah. So like and like just it's like small stuff. Then
Yeah.
I was like, if this guy can coach, I'm pretty sure I can coach, dude. So that's how I actually got started. I was all like, hey, let me actually, because I'm like you said, student in the game, dude. I'm always like watching YouTube, fucking by enemies basketball, YouTube, like just like highlights and just studying even more of like now that I'm diving a little more into the coaching world,
Yeah.
because this is a passion project for me, but now it's kind of growing into like, oh shoot, I think there's something here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's being the student in the game, and I love basketball. So
Yeah.
I think that's what helped me earn the trust with the parents too, as far as like, oh, okay, coach actually knows basketball, and he still plays, so he kind of
Yeah.
knows a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So like for me, like I found like teaching like just like real basic concepts of like, okay, these are the spots on the floor, fast break lanes,
Yeah.
and then like teaching concepts and then going through skills.
Yeah.
So then, because then there it's like, all right, I would just say like, and then teaching, basic, screens, dribble handoffs and stuff, cutting, you know what I'm saying? Like things that people who've been hooping for a long time think it's like, oh, duh, you should know this, but
Yeah.
the kids, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So there, it's like legit, be like, all right, dude, like, where's the spots on the floor? So like, corner, wing, like really elementary type stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then there, it's like, I kind of just teach them the flow of the game as far as like, okay, it's like spacing, passing, like crisp passing, And then they're like, I never ran any plays because, they're like, I started off 8, 9 year old and 10 to 12 now. I'm all like, all right, guys, fucking, we've practiced this, go hoop.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there, and then I've learned to kind of give the kids some type of autonomy. So like, for example, like Beckham, like when I was coaching Beckham, he's like into it, dude. He's like even if he's on the bench, he's like, coaching his teammates and stuff. So I'd be like, if there's a timeout for the other team or myself, I'll be like, hey Beckham, what are we doing well? And it was like, oh, we're doing blah 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 blah. And I'll
Yeah.
ask another kid, like, all right, they're on a run, like, what are they doing well and how can we stop them? So they'd say it, then I was like, all right, go do it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they have the answer. It's just now it's just nourishing their roots basically. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, yeah, I like it, and I think what I'm getting from it is you're teaching, because the game of basketball is read and react sport,
yeah,
right? It's not, that's my thing. I love training, but it can get to a point where if you just have a bunch of cones out there, right?
yeah,
Defenders don't defenders move a lot quicker than cones,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
just the understanding of how to, like, I love what you're doing, basic spacing, read and react. If someone drives at you and your defender turns his head or jumps that passing lane, go back door,
yeah,
play
yeah,
the simple game of basketball and learn how to read and react. I think that's so important for the youth, more than the ball handling and all that. The ball handling is great, but again, if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to implement it, and if you don't know how to be productive with your dribbles,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or whatever you're doing, if you don't know how to be productive within an offense, you're gonna find yourself struggling. You can be the best ball handler on the floor coming off the bench, eighth man off the bench type of thing.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I think it's just, especially from the youth perspective, you need to know how to play the game the correct way. And I think that's why it's so important to find the right people who understand that and are teaching that. So yeah, I agree. I agree.
No, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've always told Elijah since he started playing. I'm like, hey, dude, defense, effort, and your attitude. That's like focus on that, and then keep freaking just going, just pounding that.
Yeah.
Play solid defense, put good effort, and like be a great teammate. And then your skills are gonna come, dude. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
promise you, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
you just gotta practice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Consistency,
but
man. Consistency.
yeah, dude. It's and obviously, I always go back to the being a respectful warrior. You know what I'm saying? Like respect, dude. Like after each game, I always tell my kids, like, hey, go say thanks to the ref, scorekeepers,
Yep.
and then it was Coach Sally who was a director, so like, hey, go say thank you, and also say thank you to your parents. I'm all like, thank you, parents. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they're here putting the time and effort for your love and your growth. So, yeah, I think like you said, like it goes beyond basketball. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, yes, it's cool to win the championships and get all that stuff, but it's that that wave's gonna pass. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, but yeah, that's why like there's
Especially.
so many aspects within basketball with outside of the game that like I love it, dude. Yeah,
Yes.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
No, like that's the big thing for me is, like, I love being a coach, and I've had some kids that have gone on and played high level college. I got a couple guys that are playing overseas, like, and I love seeing those stories. But what I love just as much, and sometimes even more, is, I was coaching a kid. I always use him as an example. He's an amazing kid, Nick Porter. I coached him in high school. Um, when he got into out of high school and he's getting ready to go to college, I was actually able to get him a job at one of my good friends' winery, and he worked himself up there, became a manager there, and then he went on to college, Morgan State, and he's just got into fraternity. He's just absolutely killing it. I mean, this kid's just going to be so successful, and that is what I love to see. That is, like,
yeah,
it's so awesome to be a part of that and to see that growth. And um, that portion of their life, that time in their life was so impactful. That just drives me, and it motivates. It's so cool to see. It's so cool to see. So I love
no, yeah, and I guarantee the stuff that you've taught him, like as far as the outside of the game of basketball, you know what I'm saying? Like he's using that right now as
Yeah.
far as like him, fighting his resilience, but also teamwork.
Yeah.
Working with different types of people, like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, like I can go on and on about the good stuff of basketball. But
Yeah.
yeah, we do have our camp coming up. I want to kind of
Yes. Yes.
segue through that bad boy. So yeah, thank you again. We got the Youth Basketball Elite Foundations Volume Two. I grew up watching Annual Mixtape, so I'm gonna keep the Volume
The
One, Volume
volume.
Two
I like
things. Yeah, but yeah, so Volume Two. You're gonna be teaching the offensive concepts part. We got like dribble handoffs and ball screens and everything like that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I guess if you want to kind of talk more about the type of energy you're going to bring, and then the type of knowledge and wisdom as far as the offensive concepts. You don't have to dive deep into it, but
Yeah.
kind of just a basic of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm a very detail-oriented coach. I believe in the small things, so I'm bringing a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. I love to get after it. I love clapping. I love cheering them on. I love the energy because I feel like it fuels us. Um, but so much as the curriculum, it's like I said, it's really about the details. So dribble handoffs. Where do you dribble at a dribble handoff? How do you give a dribble handoff? How do you receive a dribble handoff? And how to read out of it in a quick reads out of your dribble handoff. Same with ball screens. Big thing that even at the high school level and even some college guys, we still struggle with just knowing how to set a proper screen, right? How to set a useful screen, not move too early, not lunge, right? Go actually put your chest on somebody's shoulder. So just the little details and just understanding. So my hope is through the offensive sets that they can leave there being able to utilize it right away and understand like, oh, maybe they can see some tweaks. Oh, this is why I wasn't being successful off of this dribble handoff, or this is why I keep getting stopped off this ball screen. So yeah, that's kind of little overview of what is to come for that section.
Nice, sick. Yeah, and then I have Coach DC. He's an assistant coach at Stan State, so he's gonna be teaching
Yep.
shooting concepts. So he's gonna be teaching shooting form mechanics, but also how to shoot off the dribble, off screens and everything. And then I have Coach Moy, who's the director of the youth development at Pickup USA.
Okay.
So he's gonna be teaching defensive concepts. So basically, how to defend off of dribble handoffs, how to defend ball screens. So I always tell
Perfect.
Elijah, it's like, hey, dude, if you're a good defender, you're a very smart offensive player, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Yeah.
you gotta read the offense and you gotta know what's happening even before it's happening, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
like you said, read and react, right? So. But yeah, I'm super stoked, super excited. That's December 14th. It's a
Yes, sir.
Sunday. We'll actually have Aloha Shave Ice, so we're gonna have some food there.
Nice.
I am from Hawaii, so I had to get my brother Kavika there. So he was there
Yeah.
last time. He served Shave Ice, but he also got pre-order of like Kalo Pig, Spam Musubi, barbecue
Heck yeah.
chicken and stuff. So we got some food for the kids and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. As far as the camp, um. I know you've done some stuff. I know the last one I saw was with Dre
Yeah.
with Touch.
Yeah.
Do you have besides our camp together, or do you have anything planned for the next few months afterwards, or anything lined up?
Uh, not right now. We start season of Monday, so we're pretty much
Oh,
locked
damn,
in.
yeah, start
Yeah,
November.
yeah.
Yep.
So we're locked in right now. So your camp will probably be the last one I'm doing. I'm still doing individual training and small group trainings here and there, but that'll be pretty much throughout season right now. But after definitely come springtime, we're gonna have some camps. Springtime and summer for sure. We'll have some camps. So some camps and some spot up clinics. So
Nice, nice. Hell yeah. And then as far as the schedule, dude, for your season, I got to get that from you guys because I'm gonna
yes,
bring
yeah,
Elijah,
yeah,
come check
yeah.
you guys out, dude.
Dude, love that.
Yeah, we are at. Oh, yeah, perfect, dude. It's 45 mark, dude.
Perfect.
So I guess I like to ask three powerful questions based on our conversation. Whenever I had past talk stories, so I guess you kind of answered it earlier as far as the parents of young hoopers who are really getting into basketball. I guess we can do just a general question. A parent whose child, first time sports parent, child's getting really into basketball, and what's one or two things or piece of advice that you could give that parent to navigate through their child growing into this youth basketball scene?
I think for the parent is um, allow them to find the game organically. Let them find the love organically. Like we talked about, the balancing act is the huge part. You know, to find that fine line between pushing them and forcing them, and you know, creating that burnout that we've talked about. And so yeah, I would just say for that parent is just um, trust the process, trust that process of letting that love come organically, and be patient. Be patient with them, with yourself, because I know how it is to have expectations. I get it. I'm learning that now with my varsity guys. Like I want them to be where they need to be now, but you know, learning just to enjoy the process has been so useful. And now I get to be there in the moment and see the growth from yesterday to today. You know, and that's it's such a peaceful thing to have. So I say that to say, you know, find your peace too as a parent. Find your peace, find your joy, find, you know, yourself in the moment rather than 10 years ahead.
Yeah, yeah, nice. No, dude, that hits hard, dude. Because like I said, when Elijah was getting into basketball, I saw like the passion and love. And then for me loving basketball and stuff, I was getting into I was putting too much pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? Or even just expectations
Yeah.
for within like myself also. Be like
Yeah.
and like having him perform. You know what I'm saying? It's rec ball. Like chill out, bro.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
But
It's
no,
but
it
yeah,
gets
like
there, man.
but
It gets there.
yeah,
I get
yeah. Like for me, like stepping back and like I always remind myself like he's just a kid.
it. Yeah.
His learning. You know what I'm saying? And even for me, for myself, like you said, like the patience and peace. Like I'm just learning how to be
Yeah.
a sports parent, but also now navigating into the youth coaching world, like having patience within myself too, and that peace. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Cool. And then the second question for a youth hooper, whether it be 8, 9, 10, 12-year old, what's one piece of advice that you could give a youth hooper who's like, oh man, I love basketball, I want to get better, and I just want to keep getting better, basically.
Yeah. I'll speak on what worked for me. I think the biggest thing is, like I said before, the biggest thing was um, I gave my life to the Lord. You know, I think it's so important, that aspect of it is, and if you're not a believer, that's totally fine. I think just goes along with that is find something that drives you. Find your why. For me, it was that ministry part. For me, it was the being able to be and around my teammates and the joy that I have. But I would say, yeah, find your why and just know that consistent hard work pays off. It's not just the hard work once or twice a week. It's the consistent hard work, and that doesn't mean burnout. That doesn't mean 3 times a day. It's get your 1-2 hours in every day consistently. Go game speed in those reps. Go hard. Understand why you're doing the moves that you're doing. Um, I like to say work just as smart as you are working hard.
Nice, hell yeah, dude. And then we didn't really get into the youth coaching part of things, but for an upcoming, this is kind of for myself, an upcoming, first time jumping into the youth basketball coaching world, what's one piece of advice that you give, like, either a sports parent or someone who's like really loves basketball and really wants to make an impact with the youth through basketball?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I'm always going to go back to the Lord, get right with the Lord. But
Yeah.
if not that, I would say be a student of the game. Really learn how to be a student of the game, and know that we are in an industry where um, there are a lot of people, unfortunately, that aren't in it for the right reasons. The money can be good in this, and I get it. But if that's all you're in for it, if that's all you're in this for, then I don't think this is the right profession for you. This is a profession that you have to have a heart for the people. You have to have a heart for the people that you're training, for the families that you're training. Um, I just think that is a huge piece alongside with knowing the game of basketball. I
Yeah.
think it's so important, the implementation, right? Like to be able to implement this drill, whatever it is, um, really, I think that goes along with that is don't be afraid to spend an hour on one thing, right? Spend an hour until they get that, until they understand that, like the full concept of it. Don't move on. I would not encourage you to have, an hour training with 7 different concepts. Stick to it, stick to the fundamentals, know the kids that you're training because every kid is going to be different. You can't just have a one workout for every kid. But that, again, I know it's a drawn out answer, but it comes back to just being a student of the game, knowing why you're doing it, and being willing to be a mentor.
Nice. Yay. Love it, dude. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Again, we could probably talk for like another 2 hours, but
I know. I like the
I gotta pick
conversation.
up a lunch from
Appreciate you,
school.
man.
But yeah, dude, I'm super stoked. Yeah, again, thank you. Appreciate you for taking the time to talk story here with me. Thank you for everything you do for the kids. Thanks for jumping on as a guest coach for the camp coming up on the 14th of December. And yeah, dude, I will meet you in real life very
Yes.
soon. I
Very
promise.
soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
All
Hey,
right,
man.
guys.
Well,
Signing off. Is there anything else that you want to say as far as you can plug whatever beyond basketball? Anything that you want to promote as far as your?
oh, no. I mean, yeah, follow me Beyond Basketball if you guys are interested in any training or anything like that. Beyond Basketball is my page. But I just want to say thank you to you. I love what you're doing for the youth, man. I love your passion. And I love not a lot of people in your position would admit, right, that I'm just getting new to this. I'm learning this. So I appreciate you being willing to be that student of the game, man, because I've seen what you've done with the youth and even having your free workouts, man. I think that's so awesome. And I just hope and pray that you continue just to be that student. And I think you already got the mentor part down. So yeah, appreciate what you're doing, man.
Yeah, all right, brother. I will message you right after we sign off. But yeah, thank you everybody watching live, everybody watching the replay. Again, Rudy Youth Basketball, Beyond Basketball. Keep
Appreciate you,
hooping,
Kenny.
keep improving. All right,
Appreciate you,
bro.
brother. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate you,
Aloha.
Kenny. Bye.